Hey, what's going on everyone? Hawks21 here, back with another Splinterlands video. Alright, it is time for us to talk about DEC-B. The idea that has recently taken the Splinterlands community by storm. There's a reason why you haven't heard from me yet on this. And that's because, to be honest, it's a little bit out of my circle of competency. Someone's circle of competency is something I strongly believe in. People should, it's people whose job it is or who decide to put themselves in a position to spread ideas should focus on the stuff they know the most about and they feel most confident about. And for me, that is gameplay strategy when it comes to Splinterlands. It's card prices, like looking at the card marketplace. And you can see that's where I make most of my videos on, right? I leave the tokenomic stuff to some of the other content creators. My personal favorite about this stuff is Aftersound. And he put out a great video talking about this. Bulldog also put out a video talking about this. So, it's not really my wheelhouse. So I like to stay away from a lot of the tokenomic stuff. But now that it's out and it is a proposal, I'm going to tell you how I'm voting and why. But before I get into that, just a reminder, I am Hawks21 and I cover Splinterlands here on the channel. If you are new to the community, it would be awesome if you could take a second to subscribe to the channel. We are slowly but surely growing in a bear market, which is certainly not easy to do. And we would love to get you in here. So come to my Twitter, say hi. Come in my Discord, say hi. Love to catch up with you there. And don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Okay. First, let's talk about the problem we are trying to solve. And have been trying to solve for months now, if we're going to be honest. DEC getting back to peg. That is the, $1 million question. How do we get DEC back to peg? The reason being, we want to start the DEC SPS flywheel. And in order for that to happen, we need to get DEC back closer to peg. What is the flywheel? Actually, I'm going to save that for a different video. That'll be my next video. So if you want to hear more about what the flywheel itself is, I'm sure you've heard myself and other content creators in Splinterlands use the term DEC SPS flywheel. I'm going to talk about it in a different video. That's something else that I think deserves its own space. But for now, just accept that it's something we need to get to. So DEC needs to be closer to peg to start the DEC SPS flywheel. How do we do that? Well, basically, we need DEC syncs. And the game has some upcoming, right? Whether it be land or different potions and stuff affiliated with land. They talk about some things here, right? Like land survey potions. We already have guild buildings, right? That's a DEC sync. You have to spend DEC to upgrade guild buildings. So one way to help in this area would be making guilds sort of more attractive for people to level up and join. And you've sort of seen that now with SPS rewards coming to guilds. More people are leveling up their guilds. Hasn't been enough. Sort of nothing they've done in this space has been enough yet. Pretty soon we're going to get guild alliances, which is going to be a whole other area for a DEC sync. When land comes out, right, we're talking about buildings on the land, maintenance, boosts in land. So, land's basically the big one. And then in the future, some of their releases might be in DEC to sort of eat some of those up. And then skins and cosmetics. So you see a lot of this has to do with land. Land. We've been talking about land for a really long time. We got the initial look land 0.5. In the most recent town hall, they basically said that's their, white whale for 2023 is land. And that's great. So you might say, if all of this stuff is happening this year, what's the big deal of letting DEC stay this low? And, why do we have to do anything like this, right? Well, it's also a little time sensitive for a couple reasons. One, the more unstable the economy is, the harder it is to retain players. So as you can see right now, SPS has collapsed to a little over 2 cents, right? And that's for a variety of reasons. SPS is being given out. A ton of it is given out every single day for battle rewards, guild rewards, and there's just not that much utility for it yet. And it's hard to keep players interested in playing the game when, think about this. You're used to earning, 100 SPS per day. Okay, when SPS was, 5 cents, what is that? That's $5. It falls down to 2 cents or 2.5 cents. Your earnings get cut in half. So that's the problem. On top of that, we are in the depths of a bear market. We don't know when the bear market will be over and the next bull run will start. Again, I always say it could be 6 months, could be 12, could be 18, could be 2 years. We don't know. But we want our economy to be stable and all of these things to be in place before the next bull run comes. So we are ready for when there's going to be a new influx of people into the gaming space. And I do think the gaming space is going to be one of the main beneficiaries of sort of our next leg. We need the economy to be stable. So that's why there's sort of a time-sensitive part of this, right? It's not just, all right, let's just wait for land. It's, we need to make sure we're ready to go by the next bull market. Okay, so that was the problem. Let's talk about the proposal itself. How it originally stood, and I was going to be incredibly against this, was they were creating, here, it ended up being crossed out here, DEC-B would be a typical transferable cryptocurrency token, which would be available within the Splinterlands website, be available to be bought and sold on Hive Engine, and potentially be bridged to other external platforms in the future. I thought this was a hard stop no for me. And again, I'm not even going to get into the tokenomics of the whole thing. Maybe in a deeply analytical way this makes sense or whatever. To me, we have a hard enough time stabilizing the current ecosystem. And basically what this is you can turn in 0.8 DEC for 1 DEC-B. So basically, DEC-B was almost becoming like a 20% off coupon or 20% boost. I almost thought of it of DEC Boost, which you could then use, they call the DEC batteries, which you could then use this in the future to buy some of these things. So the idea is lock up DEC or get rid of DEC, issue DEC-B, and those who decided to do that, DEC-B would be worth more for doing this type of things. To me, they were completely, by making this trade, right, or having this be a tradable currency, you're introducing this whole other aspect in the value chain of the ecosystem. So, right now, I talk about the DEC SPS flywheel that I'm going to explain in my next video. We're trying to get DEC to peg, and now you're going to release a new tradable currency that's effectively pegged to DEC, right? DEC-B has value in a way to DEC. People could just go in and buy the DEC-B. It would just create way more moving parts than were necessary for what this idea is supposed to be. And what this idea is supposed to be is basically a lockup of DEC. So the DEC is going to be burned, right? And what you're getting is basically a 20% off coupon. So in the future, you can use DEC-B, and its value is going to be, effectively it's a little more than that, but a 20% increase on DEC. I was against when it was tradable. I was going to vote no. It's just an unnecessary step to accomplish the goal they wanted to accomplish. But now, this is crossed out. Here's the update. As a result of an informal poll in the comments, this proposal is being updated so that DEC-B tokens will be soul-bound, meaning they will not be transferable or sellable and will only be able to be used to make eligible purchases within the game, much like the existing credit token, based on the accounts upvoting, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So this to me changes it completely. This to me, and I'll come here for a second to the proposal. I have voted yes, as you can see. It's pretty tight. But I have voted yes. Making this not transferable makes it make sense to me. Now, anyone can make their own decision to say, I'm going to be here for a really long time. If they want to give me a 20% boost, and what I have to do is lock up my DEC right now to get that, and I'm going to have to hold this DEC-B until some later date when there's something that I want to spend it on. That's the key. You would then have to spend the DEC-B in the game. This to me makes a lot of sense, and it accomplishes the goals that we're talking about. It takes into account the time-sensitive nature of this, right? Basically, we have stuff coming, but we can't deliver it in a timely manner. We're working on it. So instead, we're going to take some of that DEC that would eventually get spent on the new stuff that's coming out, and we're going to pull it out of the game now. And for those of you who are willing to pull your DEC out of the game now, we're going to give you this coupon, DEC-B, that when land buildings are out, when alliance buildings are out, whichever DEC sink, you were going to pour your DEC into is here. Your reward for locking up the DEC early, for burning your DEC early, is going to be a discount. That to me makes a ton of sense. That to me accomplishes all of the goals of what this proposal is supposed to be without overcomplicating it. Maybe a tradable DEC-B would work, but for me, in an already unstable ecosystem, introducing another tradable currency sounds a little silly. So props to the team for listening to feedback and putting this up for an informal little poll. It seemed overwhelmingly that people preferred the soulbound. As you can see, 31 million worth of staked SPS versus 11 million staked SPS. So soulbound, I think, makes a ton of sense. I'm glad this is the way it's going. It's going to be a yes vote for me. It's not perfect. You can also burn vouchers for DEC-B. I wish they weren't doing this. I understand why they're doing it. They say it. We believe that it fits well with the main goal of vouchers, which is to provide discounts and access to various things within the game. That's fine. I wish they weren't. I'd rather have, if people want DEC-B, they have to use DEC. They have to burn DEC. But if they want to lump in vouchers, okay, the rest of this I can get behind. So that's why I'm voting yes. There it is. I'll be curious to see how it plays out. I'm hoping it works and we start to see some moves higher in DEC. It's been sort of slowly falling. They haven't been able to find something that would stick. And hopefully this is it. So I guess we'll see. I'm voting yes. Let me know what you guys think of this new change. Are you behind it? Are you happy with the change? Are you upset at the change? Are you voting yes, voting no? Let me know in the comments. Thank you all for being here. Again, I am Hawks21 and I cover Splinterlands. If you made it this far, it'd be awesome if you could give the video a like and subscribe to the channel. I will talk to you guys soon, and see you around the game.